this keyword. Okay. So the next concept is a this keyword. We'll understand what is this and how to handle the this in the JavaScript. Okay, this keyword. So first, so do you know how to write a normal object, JavaScript object? Everybody know how to write one object, right? Let us try to write one simple JavaScript object. So something like this. Okay. Okay, let us understand. So what is a P here? P is nothing but a person object. Okay. So open and close bracket, nothing but a object. And what are the properties available? First name like F name and L name. So F name I am giving some name and L name I am giving some other name. Okay. So inside the object we can have a functions also, not only properties. So first, what is the object? The object will have a properties and actions. Properties and actions. Actions are nothing but methods. Correct, right? So I can write any function inside the object like this. Okay. Simple. First you are going to write a let me write like this. Okay, so first you are going to write the name, whatever the name you want to write it, you are going to write a name here, something like this. Okay, this is and after the colon you are going to write a function, regular function. Normally how will you write it? A function name, something like this, right? But inside the function alone we have to use this syntax, the top syntax. Okay, so the syntax is first you have to write like a what is the function name. Okay, function name. So suppose I want to write a get full name, something like this is my function name. And right side you have to write like a function, and the remaining everything is same. Function, instead of writing name you are going to write without name. If you are writing without any function name, what is that function name? Anonymous function. Okay, this anonymous function we are giving in the left side name, so that this is the name of your function. This is only inside your object. Okay, so let us see. So inside the object, what I am trying to print it here. So constant name is equal to this dot name. Okay, very, very important. What is the keyword here? This. And what is the name I'm using it? F name. What is the way F name already available here? F name, what is the Trinits? And plus, and what is the name I'm using it? L name. What is L name means? Technology. So what is the full name here? It will be Trinits technologies. This is just only right. Here I am printing console.log, something like this. Okay, this is an object, right? If it is a normal function, I can directly call a get full name. But this is available where inside the object. If I want to call this function, then first I have to get this object. Okay, let us call this object p dot get full name. Okay, and this is a function, right? That is the reason I have to write like a brackets. Okay, everybody understood, right? If I want to print first name, how to write it? Console dot log of p dot first name. If I want to get the last name, p dot last name. If I want to call a method, p dot get name, something same only. Okay, there is no difference at all. Okay, so here this refers the current object. Here this refers the current object. What is the current object here? This p only. Inside the p, is there any first name? Yes. What is the first name value? Trinits. So if you are going to reload the page, you are going to get the Trinits. Okay, and so this Trinits is coming from where, okay, so this one. Okay, let me handle it. So hello Trinits technologies. Okay, now tell me what is the this refers here in this situation. This refers for the current object properties. Everybody is clear? Okay, what is the this refers? Current object properties. Correct, right? Okay, so this is the first use case. Okay, so the value of this is determined based on the runtime, how the function is going to call. Okay, very, very tricky. So do you know what is a function expression? Anybody remember what is a function expression? Okay, so this is a function I'm calling. So let us change it to the function expression. I'm going to copy here. I will say let my name or my name something. Okay, okay, suppose if you are going to write like this is an interview question. Okay, now what I am trying to store here, I am trying to store this function into one variable. Okay, that variable is nothing but a my name. If you are going to print console dot log of, okay, my name without this brackets, what is the output you are going to get it here? Without that bracket, if you are going to call, you are going to get like this a function. Okay, but I don't want to print that function. I want to get the value, right? That is the reason I have to put a brackets here. Okay, so this is equivalent to your function ma. Instead of directly you are calling like this, we are storing this function into one variable, and that variable we are storing it. Okay, we have seen this example in the starting. Okay, now if I am going to call this one, what is the output? Now we are going to get it. Tell me. We are storing this function into one variable. Now we are calling that function only. So what is the output? We are going to get it here. Hello Trinits technology. Correct, right? Okay, what is the output? We are getting it. Hello undefined undefined. Okay, so if both are same, then why will have this use case ma? Okay, so whenever you are writing this function expression, okay, function expression, your context will change. Okay, your context will change. Earlier p means this object only. Now whenever you are assigning your method to like a expression, whatever the data your p is having, that p will miss. Okay, so whenever your p is missing and you are going to call this method, right, so it will not refer this. Now at this time, this means it will not refer the f name and last name. Okay, there is no data. That is the reason it is going to get a undefined. You understood now? Whenever you are going for a function expression, you will lose the context. So that is the reason we have to go for a call, apply, and bind. There are three methods are there where it will solve this problem. Okay. So whenever you are going for a, this is an interview question. What is the output for this program and what is the output for this above program? Okay. Everybody will tell the answer is always a Trinits only. But there is a point whenever you are expecting a function expression, you will lose the context. So automatically you will lose the data. Okay, whenever you are losing the data, now the current, whenever you are, now my name is nothing but a global variable. Correct, right? Global variable means it is a global scope. Okay, it will think like a, is there any global data with the first name and last name? Is there any variable I have declared in the top to bottom? No, that is the reason it is printing the undefined. Okay, suppose if I want to print any value, proper values. Okay, now what I will do, what is the name it is looking for? I will say where global scope. How can I declare ma? Where f name. Okay, f name is equal to, okay, I will say xyz, something like this. Okay, very important. So here where I am writing my variable name here, outside. Okay, somewhere outside, right? Okay, whenever you are writing outside, okay, now I am going to reload the page again. What is the output? Now I am getting it xyz abc. Okay, whenever you are storing into any function expression, okay, your context will change. Now your context, who is the manager for your object, is nothing but your global scope is your manager. Okay, global scope is your context. That is the reason whatever the data you are having in the global scope, that will print inside the this. Okay, earlier this means what it is referring, current object. Now this refer means what it is referring in the function expression, global scope. Correct, right? Okay, this will change based on the usage. That is the reason it is very tricky. Please understand it. Okay, yes. Now let's go for a third scenario. We know arrow functions, right? Everybody know arrow functions. Simply write open bracket and close bracket. Okay, so in interview they are asking, one of the excellent question is what is the difference between the arrow function and normal function? Okay, what is the question? What is the difference between the arrow function and normal function? We are going to write arrow and open bracket and close bracket. Everybody will say brackets are optional. Only one line is required. Written statement is optional. They are directly saying, I don't want any syntactical difference. I want any behavioral difference only. Okay, they know how to write a syntax. They don't want any syntax. What is the exact difference inside the function? Okay, let us see the difference. Suppose here there is a function, right? I want to write another function. Okay, I want to write another function. I will say get full name to something like this. Okay, so here I am going to write the arrow function this time. Okay, so the second function. So what is the first function I am writing? A normal function. What is the second function I am writing? A arrow function. Okay, yeah, now we'll try to call the, we'll directly call it. We'll not write a function expression. No need any confusion. Directly we'll call it. Okay, p dot name to. Okay, something like this. Okay, clear? Now I am going to reload the page. So what is the output you are expecting here? What is it? This means something like this, right? Okay, so Trinits technologies. Let us see what is the data we are going to get it. What is the data we are getting it? Undefined. Okay. So the main difference between the normal function and ES6 function is ES6 function will not have their own this. Okay. Normal function will have a this keyword, but ES6 function will not have a their own this keyword. Okay. It is always refers for the where this method is getting called. Where I am calling this method directly globally. Correct, right? Globally. So in this scope, is there any variable with the L name and first name? No. So whenever you don't have this one, automatically it will print a undefined. Okay. So this scope is called lexical scope. Oh, what is this name? Lexical scope. Lexical scope means where you are defining it. Okay. It does not have any meaning for this. It does not have any this keyword for the arrow, like arrow functions. Okay. It is always refer from where you are calling. That is nothing but your scope. Okay. It is not where you are writing. Where I have written my function inside this object only, right? If normal function means it will think like a okay, I need to take it from only this object. But if you are going for arrow functions, it will not come from that object. They will think like where you are calling. Where I am calling outside. So this outside, what is the scope? Global scope. If the data is available in the global scope, it will print it. Otherwise, it will not print it. Okay. For demo, what I will do, I will uncomment these two lines. Okay, two lines. Now in my global scope, I have the data or not? Yes, I have the data. Let us go and reload the page now. Okay. So this time, what is the data I'm getting it? XYZ. Okay. So based on the usage, where you are going to call, so this will work differently. Same this keyword only. In normal function, it is printing the current object value. If you are writing a function expression, it is missing the scope. Correct, right? And arrow function also working similarly. Okay. So arrow functions will not have a their own this keyword. Where you are calling, that is the matter. Okay. Yes. Suppose okay, something like suppose you are writing a function here. Okay. Function test, something like this. So inside the function, suppose you are going to write like a let variable, something. Okay, what is the scope here? Okay, something. If you are going to call test, what will happen? What is the output? Okay, let me store it. Let us see what's the scope. Okay, so this object, there is no object here, and even though you are going to create if you are writing any variables inside the function with the var keyword, what is the scope? Function scope only, not a global scope. Correct, right? If you want to write a global scope, what is the way we have to write it? Without any keyword only we have to write it. Without any keyword only we have to write it. Okay, then only it will become a global scope, something like this. Okay, so this is the arrow function will have a lexical scope. This keyword is enclosing lexical context. That means the value of the parent scope where your function is defined. Like it will go to your parent, not in the current scope. This is a simple example. And last we'll go for a one more concept like called event handling. I want to write one simple button and I want to write a handling the event. Okay. Everybody know how to write an handle, right? Let us write it here. Okay. Simple button, one event handling. Let us remove everything. Okay. So write one simple button here, button. Okay. Test. Okay. I want to click that button. So how to write event handling for this? Click that button. Okay. On click is equal to click event something. Okay. Okay. I'll say event. That's fine. Okay. I have to write that function, right? I'll say function name, open bracket and close bracket, console dot log of. Please, I'm going to write like a this here. Okay, this. So I'm just going to print this keyword here. Let us see what will happen. Okay, so let's click here. So what is the this means? If you see, this means it is referring for the window object. Window is nothing but a global scope. Okay, global scope. Whatever the data you are storing using the var keyword, always the data will store inside this window only. Okay, so what is the this refers in this time? Global object. Okay, suppose here I'm going to store like one variable var name is equal to okay something. Okay, suppose if I am going to write like a this dot name. Okay, what is your expectation output? Rajesh only. Okay, let's see. Okay, Rajesh only, because this refers for what object? Global scope only. Correct, right? This is okay. Okay, same thing. This event we can handle it in a different way, ma. Okay, so instead of writing like this, there is a concept called event listeners. Okay, there is a concept called event listeners. So which button I want to handle? Right, event handle this for this one only, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to handle this button event dynamically. I will say test btn. So what is my ID name here? Test btn. Okay. First, I want to get this button and I want to add a listen through the programming only, not through the HTML. Okay. Everything through the JavaScript only. Okay. Here, what I can do, I will say document dot. Okay. Let me write it here. Okay. So here I'm saying a document dot get element by ID. What is my but ID name? This one. And there is a method called add event listener. What is the method name? Add event listener. You can add any event listener. Suppose I want to write a mouse over. You can write a mouse over, click event, on input event, anything. Okay. You no need to come here, and sometimes in some program, what you will do, they will not write on click anything here, but they will write inside the JavaScript. People will think they did not write any code, but actions are happening. Okay, because it is happening through here. Okay, so here what is the function I am writing it? On click. Okay, on click, and in the right side I am writing a function. What is the function I am writing here? So now what is this dot name? Earlier, whenever I am printing this dot name, what is printing Rajesh? Okay, now we are handling through the event listeners. Okay, okay, let us write. Cannot read properties of null event listener. Okay, okay, let us write it to the body. Okay, so now let us reload the page again. Okay, so now I am going to click here, ma. Okay, I'm going to click here. There is no data is printing. Earlier, whenever we are clicking the button, what is the name we are getting it? The global scope, right? Okay, now this time whenever you are handling this event here, this means the current object. Let us see. Okay, I'm going to print the this. Let us reload the page. So what is this time is referring? Earlier, this refers for what? It is printing window. Now this refers for what? Button. Same this only. Okay. In the event listener, this means what? Whenever you are clicking event, that method is executing. That is the reason that event is your parent. That event is your parent or your context. So you will get a button as your this, not like a this dot name. So that is the reason this will have a many meaningful something like this. So current this means what is the button? It will refer for the button element, not the window element. It will have a different cases only. It is only for interview purpose, ma. Don't, you are not going to do any programming on this one. It is only for interview purpose. Okay. Yes. Suppose. Okay. So that. Okay. So here what I want to do. Okay. Suppose I want to click the event. I don't want to write any code in the here, like on the button. So on click is equal to something. I don't want to write it. Okay. Same thing I want to handle in the JavaScript. Okay. That is the reason. What is my button name? Test button. Okay. Here you say document dot get element by ID. You get that button name. Okay. ID. After that, you can add any listener here. Okay. In the right side, you can say add event listener. Okay. Here you can take two parameters. First is a what is the event you want to listen. Suppose click event, mouse over event, input event. You can write any event. All events you can handle it here. Okay. And the right side, you have to give one function. So either you can declare a function top side or you can declare a like this also. Function, open bracket, close bracket. Like this also you can write it. Anything is fine. Instead of declaring like this, what I can do? I can just have a method this one. Okay. Directly I can give a method this one. Okay. So whenever we are going to click this button, it is going to call this event. So whenever this event is getting called, at that time, this refers for the that button object. Okay, not the window object. So this object will be differs.